Thank you very much, Wendy, and good morning to everybody. I'm standing here in two roles. My first role is as principal and teacher, representing every student, colleague, family and school community that I have proudly served and worked with for the last 30 years. And I am here with all of you because each and every one of us are committed to public education and a quality public education. My second role is as representative of the Public Education Alliance. This is a strong partnership between the New South Wales Parents and Citizens, Teachers Federation, Public Schools Principal Forum, Primary Principals Association and the Secondary Principal Council. And between us, we represent 760,000 students, public school families, over 2,200 principals and over 65,000 school teachers. That's an incredible representation, which means we represent all parents, all families, all teachers and all principals in New South Wales public schools, the only system that provides quality education for all comers, the only system. In various forums and written communication, we intelligently and passionately argue the essential service of education, and in particular, public education, for the sake of those 760,000 young people, for the sake of every school in our system, for the sake of our system, the largest bureaucracy in the Southern Hemisphere, for our communities and the social capital and capacity, and importantly, for the future of our state and our nation, and that essential service cannot be savaged the way the O'Farrell government is now attacking it. This is about your children, our students, singularly each one, and collectively these young people are most significant, special and are most deserving of the best education that our government can provide. Please let me read an extract from one of the many letters that we have written to the Premier in recent times. This is one of the Public Education Alliance letters. The extract begins, "The government is responsible for developing our social capital and ensuring we remain internationally competitive. The New South Wales Education Act of 1990, that is our government's legislation, provides it is the duty of the state, and currently that's the O'Farrell government, to ensure that every child receives an education of the highest quality. Further, the principal responsibility of the state, again the O'Farrell government, in the education of children is the provision of public education, not the slash and burn of $1.7 billion. I return to the letter. Just a few months ago, the Gonski Funding Review reported that education across Australia was underfunded by $6.5 billion in today's terms. The New South Wales share of that amount appears comparable with the amount that the government is now proposing to cut from our schools. Well, this certainly means that New South Wales public schools, already seriously underfunded, will now suffer a double hit. As the Gonski Review identified, economic success relies on educational investment, and all governments need to acknowledge, accept and respond constructively to that finding. The letter concludes, the Public Education Alliance demands the government gives priority to our public school communities. So in essence, we cannot and will not accept the unacceptable, the absolute indefensible. If we lose, everyone loses. This is the most savage attack on New South Wales education and public education historically, one that we may not recover from. We must not give up. Thank you.